Hi, my name's Emily Smith. I'm the Environment Manager at the Angling Trust, and I've been here today to kind of talk a bit about the partnership and the great work that's been going on with anglers, with the EA, with the Canal River Trust and other partners to try and manage floating pennywort.
So Dave Willis, I'm Environment Manager with Thames area of the Environment Agency, and I also lead for the area on our floating pennywort action group.
I'm Philip Dunn, I'm Chairman of the Environmental Audit Committee, and I'm here on the banks of the River Kennet looking at this remarkable project to eradicate from the lower reaches of the Kennet, where it's been invasive for a number of years.
I'm Dale Shackelford from Reading District Angling Association. I'm a fisheries officer, and I've been charged with dealing with the pennywort problem that we've got on Foundry Brook and the River Kennet that then leads on into the Thames.
I'm Debbie Cousins. I'm a biodiversity officer for the Environment Agency in Thames area. We tend to work in river catchments, and one of my catchments is the Kennet, which we're in now.
Floating pennywort is a significant problem for us. It's an invasive aquatic plant that grows very quickly to form dense mass, and these could affect the biodiversity of the rivers and also the amenity value of them.
And what it does, it creates this really dense mat, as you've seen in some of the footage, and this prevents light getting through, so it stops the dissolved oxygen, and that has a really big kind of impact on our fish and our aquatic community.
So this is how we're trying to deal with our problem with floating pennywort down on the lower river. It's invaded the Foundry Brook, a tributary of the Kennet. Despite the best efforts of the Environment Agency, this plant keeps regenerating, keeps coming back. And what we think is you can't just do a single cut of floating pennywort. You've got to come back year after year after year. You've got to continue to spray it. And luckily, we've managed to get £140,000 from Thames Water through an enforcement undertaking payment. And we've got Reading District Angling Association, we've got local contractors on site. We are hoping that by having a year-on-year eradication programme, we could stop this invasive plant that does so much damage to rivers, to fish, to wildlife, from spreading down from the Foundry Brook into the Kennet and then all the way down to London.
We've been doing this for about 3 years now, and we came up with a proper plan with a 3-phase strategy to it. The first was the manual removal by boat. It was then followed up with a manual picking via kayak, and we're now on to the third stage where we're almost exclusively spraying glyphosate on very small individual plants.
Tiny amounts of this plant remain, and as a result of that it regrows. So this partnership has been working together to remove this species, and it's really fantastic to see it kind of sites like this and other places along the Kennet. The great work that's been going on over the last 3 years to tackle it, and we're really excited to hopefully expand that, really using anglers that are the eyes and ears of the water to get involved in this kind of work and help protect the waters that we love.
We're starting slowly but surely getting there, and I think it'd be a really good thing if people start to think of this holistically as opposed to just individuals doing their own little thing.
And a really important thing with this is it's such a small plant, so actually it can accidentally be moved around on your boots, in your nets. So making sure you follow the check, clean, dry measures, really thoroughly cleaning and drying your fishing nets, your boots after every trip will stop it being spread elsewhere.
This is a really good example of partnership working between the Environment Agency on the one hand, the local angling trust here in the Thames Basin, and other groups who use the river, so local fishing groups, local canoe and kayak groups, all of whom want to see the river clear of this dreadful invasive species, which can not only clog up our rivers to stop people from using it, but also have a negative, very negative impact on other wildlife which thrive in our waterways.
We're really excited to be expanding the partnership with the British Canoe Union, Angling Trust and others further downstream onto the River Thames. We've also controlled pennywort on the Thames, but we now need to move again to efforts to extinguish it in the middle sections of the Thames.
So what we like to take from this fantastic partnership that's going on is getting more clubs involved, more fisheries involved. So what you can do is learn how to identify floating pennywort, make sure you feed back and you report it to the relevant agency. So that means they can get that on the ground as quickly as possible to try and contain that species. So we can provide the links in the video below make sure you ID it, feed it back, and then get involved and help to manage this and halt the spread of floating pennywort.